Good morning, everyone. On behalf of IVCA, it is a privilege to welcome you to Day 2 of our 2026 conclave in Mumbai. This year's conclave is a special milestone. It marks 15 years of IVCA convening investors, policymakers, founders, and advisors to help shape the evolution of the Indian alternative capital ecosystem. At Bain Capital, we've been a front row participant in this story for the last 20 years. With more than 35 investments across our private equity, special sits, and real estate funds, India has become one of our most important long-term markets globally. We see India as a multi-decade structural opportunity, anchored in its demographic strength, entrepreneurial ambition, and economic formalization. Yesterday's conversations set a very powerful context. India's growing weight in global portfolios, the deepening pools of domestic capital, and the increasing role that alternative capital is playing in financing innovation, infrastructure, climate solutions, and the broader real economy. The message yesterday was very clear. Our industry has moved from being a promising niche to becoming a core pillar of India's growth story. But that was yesterday. Today, we shift from momentum to institutional depth. We have three themes that bring together today and underpin a market that's now scaling with confidence. The first is liquidity and realizations. After a decade of strong capital formation and deployment, the focus globally and now in India as well is increasingly on realizations. From secondaries to IPOs to strategic exits, today's conversations will examine how India is building more reliable pathways to distributions. A deeper secondaries market, more predictable exit planning, and stronger public market integration are hallmarks of an ecosystem that is both confident and durable. Liquidity is not simply about returning capital, it is what sustains the next cycle of capital formation. Our second theme, from capital pools to capital solutions, really reflects how far our ecosystem has evolved. India is no longer defined by isolated pools of capital, venture, growth buyout, but instead we're seeing the emergence of a full spectrum of capital solutions, venture, growth, private credit, structured credit, supporting companies at every stage of their life cycle. Private credit is stepping in where traditional channels recalibrate. Growth investors are helping promising startups to scale into national leaders, and buyout capital is driving operational transformations at scale. This is what institutional depth looks like. It's precise, differentiated capital that's aligned to stage, sector, and risk. The discussion we will have on AI and innovation also fits in this theme. The opportunity today for us is not just about funding AI native ventures. It is about embedding this technology across manufacturing, supply chains, financial services, and the broader real economy. Which takes me to our final theme for today, market architecture, policy, regulation, and trust. This theme is foundational. As alternatives become systematically important, regulation, compliance, and fiscal policy shape competitiveness. Hearing directly from regulators and policymakers today underscores an important point. Clear rules, governance standards, and operational transparency are not constraints. They are prerequisites to attract long-duration domestic and global capital. Markets, as you know, scale on trust, and trust comes from clarity. So 15 years of IVCA's journey, India's alternatives ecosystem is now entering a new phase of institutional strength. If India is to sustain high-quality, investment-led growth over the next decade, this community will need to continue to take the lead on governance, transparency, and responsible risk-taking, while also innovating on structures, instruments, and partnerships. My request to all of you today is very simple. Use this as a platform not just to discuss deals and markets, but also to build alignment between LPs and GPs, between capital and regulation, and between financial returns and long-term national objectives. On that note, I must thank the government for the recently announced changes to the Press Note 3 architecture. They're very well received by this community, and we're deeply grateful for the same. So to conclude, if there is one idea that captures Day 2, it is this, that we must continue to drive depth and sophistication into our ecosystem. Liquidity builds confidence, sophisticated capital builds scale, and clear market architecture builds trust. When these three things come together, markets don't just grow, they endure. So finally, before we kick off the sessions, a big thank you to IVCA, the organizing team, all of the partners you saw earlier and sponsors for putting together this stellar program. And thank you to each of you for investing your time to be here. I look forward to the conversations today. And with that, it's my pleasure to formally open Day 2 of the conclave and invite our first session to begin. Thank you.